Hey, up YouTube and welcome back to a new video with me, Rams fan YT. And we are a matter of moments away from the start of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, hosted by the USA, Mexico, and Canada. And obviously today at the Estadio Azteca, Mexico will lead us underway as they take on South Africa. In a fitting, interesting start to the day for a bit of trivia for you, when South Africa hosted the World Cup back in 2010, 16 years ago now, makes us all feel very old, doesn't it? They hosted Mexico in their first game. So they're playing each other, and this is actually the first time that South Africa have been in the World Cup since that 2010 hosting time. They did very admirably in the group stage as they or their qualification campaign, as they managed to surpass above Nigeria to qualify. The Nigerians' bad run in international football continues for another World Cup. We'll head through the starting lineups, shall we? And we'll start with Mexico, who will probably be using quite a lot of wing play, I imagine, and defensively quite compact. They've got Rangel in goal, a back four of Gallardo, Vazquez, Captain Montez, and Reyes, a deep-lying midfielder maker of Lira, a attacking midfield four, I suppose, the wingers of Quininos and Alvarado, with the central attacking midfielders of Fidalgo and Goitres, and obviously their most important player is going to be their number 9 up top, Raul Jimenez. For the bench, we have got, it's quite a long one because they've got their whole squad for it. Carlos Acevedo, Guillermo Ochoa. He's always there in the World Cup. I wonder if he will make an appearance at some point. For old time's sake, surely he does. He was probably playing in the game last time Mexico took on South Africa 16 years ago. He's just only ever turns up at the World Cup. They've also got Jorge Sanchez, Louis Romo, Macho Chavez, Alexis Vega, Cesar Huerta, Edson Alvarez, Gilberto Mora, Luis Chavez, Obed Vargas, Orbelin Pineda, Armando Gonzalez, Guillermo Martinez, and Santiago Jimenez. For the South African team, they have decided to go for 5-3-2. Mexico were in a 4-1-4-1 my way. So 5-3-2, they're going to be very defensive, as you can probably imagine. In goal, we've got their captain, Williams, a back five of Mador, Ocon, Sibisi, Mbokazi, who I believe plays in Germany, and Modiba. A midfield three of Mokoena, Sithole, which is not referring to the place where Lyle Foster, their main player, does play for. Just to clarify, okay, I've got that joke out my system. I've been meaning to make it all day. And Adams. And the front two, obviously Lyle Foster for Burnley as well in his club football, and Rainers. On the bench for Hugo Bruce's side, you've got Ricardo Goss, Sifo Chain, Bradley Cross, Kulamani Ndamane, Lawufu Makenya, Kabani, Mataludi, Apollos, Maremi, Mofo Keng, Sebela Bell. That's a lot of B's and E's. Hopefully he does not come on just for the sake of trying to pronounce his name. Mabatha, Zwane, Maseko, and Mac Gopa. They are your lineups for today's match. Do give us a score prediction. I've gone with a 1-1 draw in this one. I have also got with me a Modelo in the Spennymoor, which I've just got on all of me, in my Spennymoor pint glass, a Mexican beer. Of course, as ever with the caveats, drink responsibly. If you're under 18, get your parents' permission. But we are a matter of 8 minutes away. The faff of the opening ceremony has finally ended. There's obviously going to be a lot of faff in this one. We know that there's going to be a weird halftime show at the World Cup final, which I don't think anyone particularly wants. But, you know, America, they'll do what they've got to do. Let me know how you anticipate this game to finish. I think a lot of people will be backing Mexico in this one as hosts at the Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. It's a beautiful ground, actually, that one. Home to some amazing club football teams within the Liga MX. I'm trying to remember who it is. I think there's at least two who use the stadium. Just going to quickly check the used by Club America and Cruz Azul, as I suspected. Oh, and also a team called Atlante has moved in for this season, who consist as well. They actually also play in the Liga MX. So 3 teams in the Mexican top flight all use this stadium, which has a capacity of 87,523. And certainly not to be sniffed at. I think that's larger than Old Trafford. Mexico, one of them ones. It's the 8th largest association football stadium in the world. There you go. That it is actually the only football stadium in the world to have both Pele and Diego Maradona win the FIFA World Cup. 2 of the greatest players of all time, of course, and also hosted the game of the century when Italy defeated West Germany 4-3 in extra time in one of the 1970 semi-final matches. So it's steep in heritage. It also had that World Cup final in 1970 when Brazil defeated Italy 4-1, and the 1986 World Cup final where Argentina defeated West Germany 3-2. And arguably, the most well-known goal scored in this stadium was the hand of God moment itself, when England played up against Argentina and Diego Maradona scored the hand of God goal. That was at the Estadio Azteca. So there you go. A lot of stuff that you probably forgot or didn't even know about this stadium. It has had a lot of sort of football in line with stuff within the Copa America and sort of that level of competition. We are, I suspect, about to have national anthems. We're 4 minutes away from kickoff. I mean, we always love a bit of a national anthem. They always absolutely belting out with them, some of them. And what do we make of the kits this year? I think you got the Mexico, which I think they're going a bit the Aztec sort of route. It's the traditional green and got this Aztec-y sort of design in a circle. And they've got a pink goalkeeper kit, a very sort of dark pink sort of shade. South Africa, head to toe yellow. Most of the South African team I was looking at play for Mondame Sundowns, the South African team, which has certainly grown a lot recently. There was a couple of other ones which you may remember from FIFA days with like Orlando Pirates and the Kaiser Chiefs, both amongst the names of other top-class South African stadiums. I don't know if they're still technically, or teams are, if they're technically still within the FIFA game. I've not played it in quite a while now. I think the last edition I played was FIFA 17, maybe FIFA 18. But the one I remember playing the most was FIFA 15, which is where a lot of my ball knowledge in early days of football came. The actual first World Cup I do remember was when I was trying to do the maths earlier. I think I would have been 6 at the time, and it was a South Africa World Cup itself. As they are currently singing their national anthem, wearing very silver-looking tracksuits over the top of their kits at the moment. It looks like it might be raining at the ground, which I don't think many people expected the first game to be raining, although, to be fair, when England played up against Costa Rica yesterday, the kickoff was delayed until 10 o'clock due to a storm. So maybe not that surprising. But normally it's quite a dry place Tell you what, it's a good beer, Modelo. I've never had it before. Whenever I watch international football, I always try to, get an international tasting beer and see what, somewhere else in the world's beer is like. And I've pushed the boat out and found a Modelo and Morrison's. The absolute euphoria and mixed crowds, I believe, in integrated fan bases, which, it doesn't often happen at the top end of football, but something, the World Cup, it brings everyone together, no matter race, religion, where you've been in the world. It's just a sport that we all love and adore. They've got a load of professional singers actually for the South African one, and we've got the whole team out as well. All, is it 26 in the squad? So, but yeah, I don't admittedly know a lot about the managers. Hugo Bruce is the one who is for South Africa, and he is from Belgium, apparently. He's managed South Africa since 2021, has managed teams such as Genk, Cameroon, interestingly, before, and Anderlecht. Trabzonspor is also in there, Zulte Waregem. He's won 3 European trophies, 3 national championships, and 4 Belgian Cups in his playing career. And was actually here playing in the World Cup in Mexico 1986 with Belgium. There you go. That's another one for you. Whereas Javier Aguirre, we know a bit more about him, I imagine. A Mexican manager since 2024. Before that was Mallorca, but he's also managed Egypt, managed Monterrey, if he had wanted a Mexico team as well. But he most notably managed Atletico Madrid in 2006-07. He actually played for Mexico between 1983 and 1992. So was also, I imagine, involved, in the 1986 FIFA World Cup. So there's going to be a lot of mentions, I imagine, of that World Cup. We are only a matter of moments away from kickoff here at the Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. We're just going through the Mexican national anthem at the moment. It looks like one of the players is recovering from a broken nose injury or something. He's not got a face mask on, but he's got a plaster across his nose. So it's going to be interesting. There's a shotting of fire of a load of different colours. The Mexico flag is being flied across by helicopters. The whole scene in the World Cup, it does often get a bit overblown. I think that's fair to say. Have we got an ad break before World Cup? We meant to have kicked off at 8 o'clock. I mean, it could be something to do with it being a bit of stream lag from the opposite end of the world. But yeah, I wasn't necessarily expecting there to be an ad break after the national anthems. I'm going to be brutally honest with that. So let me know as well any predictions that you have for dark horses in the World Cup, because Mexico could well be one of those dark horses. The group doesn't look that hard for Mexico to get out of. I think also, let's just see, South Korea and the Czech Republic. They're playing against each other at 3 a.m. in the morning, so I will not be covering that, if you were wondering. Absolutely not. I'll be watching it maybe tomorrow, but I need my sleep. The latest I'll cover one is which one that starts at 11 o'clock, I think. So that is going to be, I think we're a matter of moments away from kickoff here. Team photos being taken. So, I mean, get that for your Panini book sticker. Do people still collect them? I don't know. I used to have a massive Match Attack collection from the 2010, 2014, 2018 World Cups collectively. I've not seen any in the shops, though, this year. And I didn't find any for 2022, so I don't know if they've managed to discontinue it or whether I'm just not looking in the right places. The referees for today, Wilton Sampaio is the main one from Brazil, and they're mainly made up of Brazilian and Paraguayan. They've got 4 referees. Sorry, 5 referees. So 2 fourth officials? I don't know. And we've got 3 people in VAR from Colombia, Chile, and France, respectively. Sombreros are being thrown around at the stadium. That's going to be an absolute nightmare to read the back of. That green text is so small. I apologize in advance if I get any South African ones wrong. Mexico lineup: Raul Ranjol, Jesus Gallardo, Johan Vazquez, Captain Cesar Montes, Israel Reves, Eric Lira, Brian Gutierrez, Alvaro Fidalgo, Julian Quinones, big man himself, Raul Jimenez, and Roberto Alvarado. They are, well, according to this, in a 4-1-2-3 system. So that's different from what SofaScore has got. South Africa, Ronwen Williams in goal as captain. Obrev Modiba, Mepikazeli Mabakazi, Sabisi, Imi Okon, Mudai, Mokoena, Sitol, Jaden Adams, Reyners and Lyle Foster. And they're in a 5-3-2 formation. It's going to be very defensive, let's face it. Who to kick us off? The referee is flipping his coin. It is the choice of Mexico, I believe. I don't know. Or I don't really know about that. The goalkeeper, interestingly, in a light blue is Williams for South Africa. Obviously being a captain for the toss. I'm surprised Raul Jimenez hasn't been selected captain for Mexico. I think maybe a lot of people were probably suspecting that. But obviously he wasn't. Everyone getting into huddles, discussing a few last-minute tactics. The captain to give some final buoying words on in front of his absolutely packed-out stadium. Well over 85,000, I would expect, in attendance for this. In a football-mad country, Mexico, the only one really of the 3 which are is for national sport, I believe. And you know, the Liga MX is one of the best leagues out there. We are about to get underway. It's 6 minutes later than the kickoff was meant to be. Absolutely ridiculous amount of time wasting that happens in this tournament. And Mexico will be the team to kick us off in this 2026 World Cup. We're in Group A, and we are kicking off any moment now. Built up a suspense far too early, haven't I? Come on, blow the whistle, ref. I think he's waiting for it to go to 7. He's blown the whistle, and he's gone all the way back to the centre-backs, as is quite traditional now, and we're expecting to see a lot of wing-back play for Mexico City in this game. They're actually playing a lot like a lot of the club footballers at the moment, a flat back 3 that's sort of spending a bit of time on the ball. They're probably going to have most of the possession. South Africa will probably try to close it down. It's with Montes right now, the captain for Mexico, number 3. And Mexico just content to sort of ease themselves forward at this moment in time. There's maybe a lot of expectations upon them. That's the first lifted pass. It's to Vazquez, who is the number 5, who has made a run into the South African half. But it's now back at the halfway line. Vazquez is one which is interestingly making a lot of runs in this early stage, progressing the ball quite nicely, really. Montes going with a cross, and it's just sort of slow and safe football at the moment, not really high tempo. But the reverse fixture of this, well, when I referred to in 2010 was very much a different occasion. Mexico gone for a thing, and South Africa, their first time on the ball, they've managed to come away with it with a great tackle. And number 20, they're all a bit under pressure at the moment because the likes of Raul Jimenez is applying a lot of pressure at the moment to this South African back five, but they're more than capable of dealing with it, and they're having their own little spell of possession at the moment. South Africa, most people probably wouldn't have expected to have a lot of a possession in this, but they're also seeming to content to play it a bit round at the back at the moment. Just getting everyone to feel a bit of a touch of it. It's very early stages in a World Cup, and it can often be quite nerve-wracking. Williams has rushed a bit there, but he managed to get off the pass, but that touch was ultimately poor, and it's gone out for a Mexican throw-in. Javier Aguirre, he's probably relatively happy with the start that Mexico made. Bit of possession, and he's got himself a throw-in in an all-right position in this position. That was a crunching tackle there. That is definitely going to be a free kick. That is a poor challenge. I'm going to be brutally honest there. Just looking at it here, he's just absolutely outstretched and clamped the player. I think he's a bit lucky to not get away with a booking there. If that was later on in the game, I suspect we probably would have seen a yellow card, but we are going to see a lot of yellow kits of yellow going flashing down on the ground in this game. A two-man wall for South Africa. We're probably about 35 yards out. It's going to be quite something if they manage to get a goal from here. But it will probably be a in-swinger. And it's actually gone straight to the wall. That was the worst free kick I've seen. Out of all options, it had no pace and it went straight into the wall. I think the less spoken about that free kick, the better, in all regards. But they have managed to come away with a throw-in. Maybe they can do a bit better with this. It's a good throw, actually. That is a wonderful piece of teamwork. Across on the wings, and it's crossed in, and it's crossed on the ball. Forced to save early on by Williams there, who's done a great save, and he's going to be having his work cut out for him today. That's a wonderful bit of work across into the ball, and a shot by Raul Jimenez himself. Who else would you expect? The goalkeeper, Williams, has got down low and done a fantastic job to parry it behind for a corner. But early warning signs of a quality that Mexico do possess in this one. But drifting across again, the centre-back has got there. It's not got a lot of distance on it, and it's all a bit messy at the moment. South Africa completely turn around. And here we are. They have a possibility on a counter-attack here. They do have pace in their team. And this is what Mexico do need to watch out for. But the touch is too heavy. And the goalkeeper for Mexico can collect it. But that is showing early warning signs. But that Mexico shot, the shot for Raul Jimenez did actually deflect potentially off a defender as well. So that was probably quite a difficult save, in all honesty, to make by Williams. But he managed it. Yet again, the number 15 for Mexico, I'll need to check the name later, is looking quite impressive, in all honesty. Mexico has had their attack snapped out by South Africa, who are content to now... Oh, that's a heavy touch as well. Unfortunately, they don't have that sort of same level of quality, maybe, as some of the Mexican players do in their ability to pass the ball. I would be charitable and say that they're probably at best, a lot of them, League 2 standard players. I'm going to be honest. There's obviously a few exceptions, such as Lyle Foster, but even then, he's probably championship quality. I don't think a lot of people probably thought that he was South African until today. I don't know how well known that was. I certainly was a bit surprised. Leyes passing it back, using all available options. You can see the deep-sitting Mexican players are, working themselves together as a team to get forward, and they're always knowing where each other are. They're on the right-hand side here, but a great recovery tackle from number 20 for South Africa, who's adamant it's a goal kick. It's absolutely not, but Mandor has done a fantastic job to shepherd that out for a corner. He's gone. Oh no, he has apparently been given as a goal kick. Well, considering the amount of referees they've got, they should be making excellent decisions here. Shouldn't have any controversy when you have 5 referees, and that's going to go behind for a goal kick. A high intensity press for Mexico has just forced another goal kick. The rebound has ended up almost perfectly where the goal kick will be taken, actually. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That's quite impressive. It was a long kick downfield, but unfortunately didn't come for anything for South Africa, and it's back in the possession with Mexico. And that's a beautifully lofted pass if he can get there, and he does. The number 23 for Mexico, who then gets deflected out of for a throw in. But wonderfully received pass on the wing by Gallardo. So that should be quite an interesting one. A lot of aerial balls going on at the moment and short balls. You're not seeing a lot of long on the floor passes at the moment, but they are by far the most risky. Mexico have got it here, and they've just scored. Poor guys, South Africa, in all honesty, in this bit of a story of this game, potentially. An absolute melee of players. I can't. It was all happened so quickly. It was a pass into no man's land, and Mexico just got the ball and slotted it home. It was bad by Williams there. It was I think it might be Quinones actually who got onto the end of that. So yeah, let's see. Williams had it. He's tried to pass it, and it's too slow on the ball, and Quinones picks it up, and he's just piled it straight down the middle as well. The number 13 must be quicker in the ball there. Quinones has gone straight in. He's gone through the legs of Williams. That's all round a disappointing move. So it's 1-0 to Mexico. Quinones on the 9th minute. Certainly would have expected potentially a bit better for that. South Africa do have a chance for an attack, but it's snuffed out, and Mexico have a position to do a counter-attack here. Was it being flagged for offside? No, that didn't look offside to me, but according to the referee, has he got Google glasses on? It looks like he's got Google glasses on. That's going to be a throw-in. There's a Mexican player down looking for a foul. He has been. Quinones has definitely been involved in an altercation there. I think maybe worth a free kick. No more, but Quinones is certainly making a meal out of it. I don't know if they've been given a free kick or not. I'm being very impressed by Quinones actually in this opening 10 minutes or so. He's got himself in some great positions. And Hugo Bruce, I wonder what he's thinking in this position. South Africa giving away an early goal. It's going to be a massive uphill battle. It might have even thrown everything out the window. I imagine it would have been try and keep a clean sheet as long as possible and hit them on the counter. Well, obviously there's no clean sheet to defend now. Does strategy change? Quite possibly. And actually, we're already seeing South Africa moving in a position of a bit more space for players. Applying a bit of pressure now, which is kind of what they needed to do before. Just soaking up possession isn't great. It doesn't win games. And well, that's what I just don't get some of them lofted passes for just going straight across the face of goal. It's just of your own goal. A wonderfully lofted pass. If he got there, Raul Jimenez has managed to keep it in, and it will go out for a corner. Great work there. A lot of, he's reached out and kept it in and managed to win his team a corner. And you can tell that's the Premier League class, which a player like him brings. And a lot of expectation will be on him at the moment. I can guarantee you that. So corner for Mexico. Lofted in, headed straight up by Raul Jimenez and straight into the arms of Williams. That was no looking at it at all. Just seen Infantino sitting watching this. Wonder what he's thinking right now. There's been a lot of controversy revolving around him personally in the last few days, considering some of the things America have done, such as banning a Somalian official from refereeing just because of his country of origin, banning various sets of fans as well. There's a bit of problem with South Africa and some of their players getting visas to play at this World Cup. All round, it's just not great, is it? Mexico punting it downfield. And again, I think Raul Jimenez might get onto this. Oh, no. South Africa defending it well. A lot of aerial head tennis going on. And it'll go all the way back in the D with the centre-backs for South Africa. Bit of time for them to collate their thoughts, maybe. Think we are going to have drink breaks, I believe, in this World Cup. So that could be something, a long lofted pass. If we can get there, I thought the number 20 could have got there. It was good. I thought that was a great pass in the end. McCaw almost got there. His touch was almost perfect. That could have been something quite good there. Throw in for Mexico, though, it is. Well, Jimenez does his best to hold off a South African player, and that's going to be a free kick, I think. The referee's telling everyone to calm down. To be fair, the Mexican player did just run into him. I'm going to be honest on that regard. We've got a referee cam for the goal. That's what the Google glasses are for. We've now got a referee cam. All sorts of things nowadays, don't you? I wonder if we'll see the footage of some of these decisions played back. I don't know if it'll be in English, though. They might be. South Africa do speak English. And that will be a foul given in favour. The free kick will be in favour of South Africa, who interestingly have the RSA, the Republic of South Africa, for their FIFA code. I don't know if many people would expect that. Maskriki goes and hits it downfield. That's a great ball if they can get to it, and they get the second ball. A lot of South African players attacking there. There's McCaw in plenty of space off on the right. He's been in some impressive positions today. His touch has let him down a bit at times, but this is a good South African attack. He can't find the through ball. Well defended by Mexico, but South Africa still got it. Trying to get through a crowd. Mexico had many men covering back in defence in that position. That's a trailing leg. If ever I've seen one, and that will be the first yellow card of the game. The referee has finally seen enough and brandished a yellow card. Probably overdue slightly. But yeah, no complaints from Mokoena there at all. It was a trailing leg. It was, yeah, just absolutely clattered, actually. It wasn't even trailing. It just went straight in for it. Against the number 8 for Mexico. That was a horrific foul. I don't think there was any intention to play the ball. South Africa have it in an attacking position in the, well, sort of Mexico half, which is at least something. We're all working well as a team, actually, now, and South Africa seems to have switched momentum. I don't know if it was some sort of strategy change or whether they've just got their heads in the game about 17 minutes in. But they're finally, doing some great passes and using a lot of wing play, actually, which we are more accustomed to maybe Mexico doing. Unfortunately, they don't possess that quality, which can be quite concerning. I think Mexico are being told by Alvarez to get a bit more, Aguero rather, to get a bit more tight to their players, a bit too much space being generated now. And South Africa actually are very good at keeping to their formation. A long kick down and it's headed onwards, but there's no one there. So South Africa can cool and calmly deal with it. It doesn't really work if you're flicking on to the person who you're meant to be flicked onto. England had that problem for a while, that Harry Kane would do a lot of the flicking on, and he was meant to be the one receiving it. Great control there by the number 25 for Mexico, who has received it again in a fantastic attacking formation. He's doing an incredible job at the moment. I'll need to find out who he is shortly. But it's gone in centrally because Quinos got it again, but it's gone high and wide. He's fancying his chances of getting a hat-trick this game. I can already feel it for him. He's done a great job. I think he's hit the cameraman square in the back there, actually. It's a beautiful shot. It's just gone a bit high and wide. Quinones has clearly shown what he's got in his locker. A zoom in of Ochoa on the bench. Heavily experienced player. The referee saying no more for Raul Jimenez, who's got, I think he's gone into the penalty area during a goal kick, which I don't think you're allowed to do. There's a South African player on the floor, but he's quickly got up once he's won the free kick. And they are working quite nicely now, South Africa. They have switched the game into their favour, although it is still 1-0 to Mexico 20 minutes in. So it is worth stressing, but it is always a mountain to climb when you're up against one of the better teams in the world. I believe in the top 20 in the world on the FIFA World Rankings. Oh, now that's what I like to see. McCaw's actually continuously ratted down. He has done an absolute horror of a slide tackle in the end of it, but he went across the field, determined to get it back with McCaw. He's absolutely crunched Contes there. It's all just being told a bit, calm down, guys, calm down. You can kind of see why, to be honest. Tensions are going to be flaring if it's not calm and collated. Stepped his foot out. Oh my days. I thought he was going to try and do an RKO there. It's like, what is going on? What sport are we watching? But Mexico have it again. A beautifully floated cross, but it's well met by the centre-back for South Africa. And why is the number 9 so deep for South Africa? That's a real question. I think a lot of people will be probably wondering, how on earth are we in this position of, Mexican fans out there, you've lost the advantage of a possession. Ever since you've scored, really, you seem to be more content with just keeping the ball. They won't want to see a repeat of what happened in 2010, where they looked like they were dominating it, and then it ended up 1-1. And a lot of the home fans and all that. That's a beautifully lifted cross with the goalkeeper only being able to parry it. Now, that could have been fantastic, but the cross went straight into the defender. So, unfortunately, it wasn't. But that's probably the best moment from South Africa in this half. A bit of a delayed reaction there from the number 4, who is definitely overreacting, but has seen a yellow card branded to Jimenez, not Raul Jimenez. Gutierrez. Brian Gutierrez. He's been around for World Cup for quite a while, hasn't he, Gutierrez? If I remember rightly. He has absolute. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't think he's actually touched him. I'm not convinced on that, to be honest. I think that's a dive. I'm afraid to say it, but that's horrible. The referee's brought a reaction there. You could tell it wasn't that bad because he went down 2 seconds later. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't think there was a single bit of contact made, and you've gone down massively, Mikoko, in my Mako, or whatever he's called in my Mako. He's the number 4 anyway. He's gone down in my explanations. I should probably start learning the players' names a bit better in advance, especially these nations. I don't watch a lot of their national team, as you can tell. Lifted across, headed away, but South Africa will get the second, and another lifted cross if they can get there. They've not got the aerial ability by the looks of it, though, at the moment. Sabisi, by the looks of it, is gone. That's gone behind for a goal kick. So the hydration break. It's a chance for me to have a refresh on who some of the players are, for one, because I've clearly forgotten a lot of them. It's the Makokoena, who I wasn't that impressed with. I mean, that is unfortunate for Gutierrez, I would say, because I don't think he made any contact. And I think a lot of people are not going to be very happy with that decision in the long run. And this break might come as a bit of a help for Mexico, rather, because South Africa were beginning to grow into the game. So it's one of them ones that when you have momentum, it does break it up. And both of these 2 teams are well used to playing in the heat, actually. So we're actually in the position where, what is this hydration break? Real sort of thing. It's a good chance to get tactical advice. We may see a bit of a switch up in play in the 2 teams here. Well, I don't think South Africa needs to switch up too much now, actually. I would have said so about 10 minutes ago. I wonder if Ochoa is just in the team now for more of his leadership in the dressing room, having been involved so long. Rangel had a pretty bad mistake, though, early on. Or not early on, rather, about 2 minutes ago. And I wasn't convinced when he came out for it and couldn't collect it properly. Fortunately, for Mexico's viewpoint, South Africa couldn't capitalise on it. But I will say it now, that is one of them ones that it's going to be a goal kick for Mexico. We'll go through all the talking points at halftime, of course. But we are ready to get back underway in the 27th minute. Oh, South Africa, we're going quick there. Applying the counter a bit. Already looking reinvigorated in this second period of the first half. And working well as a team, actually. The pace has stepped up from South Africa. I don't know if that's something that the manager would have said at half-time, quite possibly. And a beautifully drifted ball looking for Lyle Foster. Hasn't found him. But they've still managed to come away with it. And it's Makoko who goes back into the defence on a yellow card for a bit of a reckless challenge early on, and yeah, I've not been impressed with him at all. Quinones has managed to get to that, and Mexico are in the attacking position at the moment now. I mean, they're all sort of queuing up, but they're being a bit crowded out on the far side. And if South Africa have got the pace, they can apply pressure on Rangel here, because they've had to come back all the way to their defence. Which I'm never quite convinced about. Possession-wise, 56% has gone to Mexico, 38% has gone to South Africa, and 6% in contest. I've never seen that on possession before, so that's quite interesting. There's a shot which has been taken off, but it's been well blocked by South Africa, and that'll go all the way back to Rangel. The counter-attack will not come to anything. But certainly warning signs. And Mexico have begun to maybe snap into action. A long drifted cross, which has managed to find their target there. It's lifted up, and it's gone into the arms of Williams. Has raised his shot. And there was it wasn't going to trouble the goalkeeper at all there. And South Africa is very much expected coming into this half now at stage, acting like the underdogs, have done some decent manoeuvres, but Mexico by far being the dominant team. Again, another long hit and hope ball from the goalkeeper. But yes, it's not maybe the most entertaining game, but I don't think anyone relatively expected it to be. South Africa can certainly get something from this if they just have a bit of quality passing or control in the final third. Lyle Foster haven't seen much action today, it must be said. Hit and hope doesn't really work, and I think South Africa know that, so they've gone with the on-the-ball shots, and they've got the pace, although also so do Mexico. Both teams are very pacey all round, to be honest. And you would expect maybe the game, a bit of a classic Brazil style of football, of speed being key, especially when you had the Brazilian Ronaldo in that team, and Ronaldinho and Rivaldo and all that sort of situation. Attacking as a team, though, are both sets, and that's something that a lot of the time didn't happen in the early 2000s World Cup. It was very much individual talents. That's why we remember the names, but not necessarily the teams. I think that sort of changed a bit maybe nowadays. You more remember the teams than the individuals at times. Long lifted ball, surely offside. Crosses in, and that will go out for a corner. Great work all around there. It was a beautifully lifted ball, and he looks offside to me there. But if it's not offside, that will have been an incredible work by Modea there to receive that ball, and it has been given as offside. I very much suspected that would have been the case. It looked offside to me. And I think it was, I don't know if it was a VAR review. I don't know how it necessarily works. It seems to be much more effective than it is in the Premier League, which is quite nice to say, because some of the stoppages has been for the Premier League, I mean, absolutely absurd to discern in millimetres of offside. I must say, from this distance, the yellow and green kits sort of look quite nice, actually. And that will be a throw-in for South Africa. A poor chested touch by a Mexican player. That's not where the throw-in went out from that, but I don't even... How has that been allowed to happen? That was like... Well, presumably, because it wasn't further of the pitch, we're fine with it. But it was like at the halfway line. It was ridiculous. South Africa have got it. Oh, that was such a good position to be in. Why have you given it to Modea? Ridiculous. That is ridiculous. They could have, lifted it over. There will be a throw-in for Mexico. Lifted ball, and Mexico come away when they've got the pace here. Guterres has it. He's opted to use his wingers, which is probably quite wise. That is a great challenge from Moakazi. He's gone absolutely flying in, but he's got the ball, and Reyes has been left on the deck. But, he got a firm touch of the ball. And, now wrong with that. A strong, strong challenge. You see it a lot of non-league levels. But let them know you're in a game, as they always say. And it's a wonderful recovery. But Mexico are coming, and that's going into the arms of Williams. He'll be very grateful to have received that. Was all a bit... The cross wasn't ever going to find the intended target unless the goalkeeper was really, really bad. So I think it was maybe a bit disingenuous to do that cross. Not very respectful. A defensive throw-in for Mexico. I didn't see how it happened, but oh well. They have it. I think there's something for South Africa in this game. I really do. I think they have the capabilities if they need it. The working as a team is sort of what the key priority will be here. 6 attempts for Mexico and 2 of them on target. Currently none for South Africa. So we haven't really seen Rangel be tested. So we don't really know how good he is. And because if he was tested, because I think there's certainly opportunities that South Africa have had to test the goalkeeper. They've maybe opted not to, though. Maybe started doing a 25-yard screamer get in already nice and early for the goal of a tournament. You never know. Because we've already seen a brief flurry of weakness when he really should have caught an easy ball and it ended up wide. They just couldn't get the cross to come off. And this Mexico side, I must say, is not the greatest Mexican side in the world. We've seen much better Mexican sides in the past, with the likes of Osvaldo and Ochoa leading the lines. And yeah, I think it is certainly bear showing this. A lifted ball up and it's headed and it's just wide, and that'll be the first attempt. Lyle Foster just heading it wide. Beautiful ball, and you know what? It wasn't a bad effort. It's just glanced wide, and that's the threat that they can actually possess. To be fair, it was more of a shot than a cross for that one earlier, by the way. I think it may have been a bit harsh on him there for saying it was a cross. It just looked like it because the angle looked quite tight. Yeah, South Africa suddenly flipping things, and maybe are they going to flip the narrative in this? It's always quite hard to say, but they're certainly not being afraid to have an attack in this game. It's going wide with the number 25, who's got a mullet. I couldn't think of much else interesting to say. I'm sorry about that. It made no impact on the overall flow of the game. So we decided to just whip out his hairstyle instead. Progressing onwards. Mexico just content to hold the ball at the moment. And they've pushed it, and that's going to go all the way back to the goalkeeper here. Down on the floor, it has gone at Leah. I didn't see what happened there. But he's on the floor and, quite frankly, looking quite an agony position as Lyra. Not great to see. He was bodied into, he was bundled over. It is one of them situations where South Africa are inevitably going to be quite physical. Next, we're just holding the ball in their defensive half. I don't know, like that. I mean, they are 1-0 ahead, but it doesn't win games and it doesn't create entertainment. And I don't think the home fans are going to be overly happy if that's how they're going to be playing it. A great 50-50, which South Africa have definitely come on top of it, but in the process gave away a free kick. I don't think there was much in there, to be honest, but maybe a step on the ankle, but it looked a very strong 50-50 to me. 40 minutes in, still 1-0 to Mexico from that 9th minute Quinones goal. Bit of a miscue there from, or applied pressure, however you want to view it, from the goalkeeper of Mexico. They've managed to control it now, but I mean, he's certainly nothing on Ochoa, I must say that. And because he was for years their best player in Mexico. And they've snapped out a good interception there from South Africa, but Mexico yet again coming away with it. A lot of green shirts in attack, but can we get past the yellow wall? Not the Borussia Dortmund fan base, but that would be quite interesting. You've got to be switched on there. Mexican player's just fallen down, flying over. I don't know why. And that's a great save by Williams. Full stretch. He's yelling at his players to switch on, and quite rightfully so. Raul Jimenez was given a chance there to break in. I don't know if he actually got a touch there. It was full stretch, though. Great save already. A couple of times, Williams saving the bacon of South Africa, and that's what the goalkeeper's there for. But, you know, the less you rely on the goalkeeper, the better it'll be. And I think maybe he is recovering a bit from his early mistakes. But yet, definitely Mexico at the moment off the bar. South Africa need to deal with this. We're getting their shirts pulled all over the place. And is that going to be a free kick? McCarthy's asking for it. Oh, it's just wide by Quinona, or just hit the post by Quinones, and it was going to come back there. But if it wasn't for the South African defender who managed to intercept the rebound, so could have been quite dangerous, that position actually. And it's not long till half time. And South Africa look like they might have a final attack in here. Oh, look. You got to know where each other are. Look up where the players are on the pitch, because that's just not great. Mexico yet again in an attacking, and they're lifting it up on field. South Africa coming forward. They're in the final third now. That's going to be a corner, surely. And it is. Great work again by the number 20 for South Africa, who is Mudke? I can't remember. At this position. Good chance at the end of a half, maybe, for South Africa to nod it in. We know Lyle Foster has a good header on him. We've already seen it once, glanced just wide. If he can get that on target, he'll definitely be the target, surely. They've opted to go not for the cross. Now they've gone for the cross. Oh, they've not found the target. Comes out South Africa again, who's gone for a massively long shot. And it is held by Rangel. But that was a mental shot. Mzabi's gone top corner from about 40 yards out. I did say it might take something incredible like that just to cause a bit of tension, because everyone else was in the penalty area. You know, if he spills that, you never know who's going to get on the end of it. So it's caused a bit of chaos almost. We've got 13 seconds of ordinary time of this half. Progressing onwards, whipping it downfield. Cleared, sliced clear there by Williams. Oh, that was a bit unorthodox. A sort of weird back heel, sort of clipping his heel sort of thing from number 23. I don't think he meant to do it. Are we going to get any indication of how much stoppage time we're going to get? There's got to at least be some for the water break. There's been a couple of stoppages. I would hazard a guess about 3 minutes. But we've not been informed at all what the stoppage time is going to be. 4 minutes of stoppage time, of which there is about 3 minutes left for it to be played. Cheers for the slow updates, ITV. I don't think that it's actually ITV's coverage. I think they are most likely streaming it from somewhere else. And it'll be a throw-in. It feels a bit Marchese, I don't know what he was doing there. He may have had a wonderful 40-yard pile driver, but I'm not sure what he was doing in that position defensively. Well, Gallardo tried it. I don't think it was ever going to challenge anything, really. It was both wide and the goalkeeper claimed it. South Africa have it now. Slowing it right down. Do they want to get to the dressing room? I don't know. Maybe they're looking for an attack. That's surely offside. Not given. Like a game of leapfrog there. It looked like it should have been given, and that's going to be a goal kick. Absolutely fuming is the number 6 for South Africa. It was adamant that he was fouled there. Oh, it did. It definitely came off Mexican player last, though. Maybe that was what I was complaining about. Because Alvarado definitely gave a last touch on that. There's a not very happy manager on the sideline. We've got 10 seconds of 1 minute rather, and 10 seconds to go. Well, it'll be just 1 minute now, to be honest. It took me so long to say that statement. Mexico have a chance at the end of this half. They're scrambling, and that's gone out behind for a goal kick. There was definitely a miscommunication going on there, though, between the centre-back and the goalkeeper. And they're lucky that Guterres's shot went wide. I think he was trying to go with a pass almost because it didn't have much pace on it. But can't really complain. Guterres has had his shot gone wide there. And is there any last action of his half? It's hard to tell. If he gets this ball, there will be. That's gone out for a throw-in. It was a good effort. It was a really good effort. And I thought that Reyners might have just got there, but he didn't. They'll break this throw-in, and then it will pretty much be time. Oh, they're not even getting a chance. That's the end of the first half. 1-0 to Mexico in this first half of World Cup football. Let's see what the sofa scores have to say on the doors in this game. We'll go through Mexico to begin with, assuming they are leading. Rangel on a 6.9. He's not had hardly anything to do. So he had one shot which was saved. That was very top corner, actually. It was quite likely. It was a 0.08 goal prevented, whatever it is. So I think that's the ratios of goals conceded to the expected number of goals based on the quality of shots. It's like what do they even call it? There's that weird shot, expected goals. That's it. So Gallardo on a 6.6. He certainly, I think, he's had chances or possession rather, but I think he's not done a lot with it, to be honest. He's just sort of been out there, occasionally getting the ball, but remaining very static with it. It's a very average 6.7 for Vázquez. He's not had to do a great deal. 5 defensive contributions in all. 1 ground duel, 1 out of the 1 he's done, and 1 aerial duel, 1 out of the 1 he's done. Again, 3 clearances, 1 interception, 1 recovery. he's just average. 6.9 for Montez, probably the best out of a defensive bunch. He's done a bit of a sideways passing, but he's also done some great long passes from defence, actually, a couple of times from there. And that's why I like to see, a bit of more of a risk taker, a bit of vision, seeing his players going forward there. Reyes on a 6.9, who's sort of been a bit quieter on that side, to be honest, than Gallardo on the other side. So I don't necessarily know if I agree with that, because he's just not had as much action. Lear on a 7.1. He actually had the assist, Lear, for the Queenos goal. He's not. It's one of them ones. He's just been very, very good at the long balls he's done. I think if he attempts them a few more, Mexico can certainly get onto the situation. He created one big chance. He had one assist, one key pass. It's looking quite decent. Quinones on an 8.1, obviously with a goal, had a follow-up shot which hit the bar. Not much more you can complain about that. He's also had some incredible 2 key passes. He's been by far the man of the match for me at the moment, Quinones. Which is fair to say, he's been streaking into the box, doing great crosses. Get him on the ball and magic will happen. I will say that now. Fidalgo on a 6.9. I've not really noticed him doing much, to be honest. He's often just sort of doing a safe touch. One key pass, mine, but normally the safer touch to, the wingers to take it forward. Hasn't done a great deal in the final third for me at the moment. 6.1 for Gutierrez. Bit frustrating. His shooting, for one, he missed in the 49th minute, the last one of the game. He also shot in the 30th minute with a shot which was blocked, and in the 4th minute from a free kick, which was, as I said, the worst free kick I've ever seen in the world. So, in an attacking output, certainly not who I'm wanting on my team right now. He's also been quite selfish at times. I'll say that. He's not really passed. He's had one key pass, but he's only had 11 accurate passes out of the 13 he's attempted. He's been quiet. He's not been in the game at all. Alvarado on a 7.0. He's been decent. I think he's had a lot of good chances. One key pass. 1 out of 2 crosses he did was accurate. I think he's been good. 7.1 for Raul Jimenez. You expect it from him. He's carrying the team on his shoulders slightly at the moment. He had a missed shot from a corner with his head on the 13th minute, and in the 5th minute, he had a shot saved. Very good save, actually. So, yeah. On to the South African team, which is a bit of a grim reading. It was 6.94 for Mexico overall, 6.36 for South Africa. 6.9 is Ronwen Williams, who's been arguably the man of the match for South Africa, keeping them in it. He prevented minus 0.48. He had 1 save, which he made absolutely phenomenally. 1 successful run out, 1 punch, 2 high claims. It seems not to have credited that last amazing save on SofaScore. I'm not sure why that is. 6.5 for Mador, or as Mukau, as I was calling him earlier, because I didn't see it was a D. I don't think he's been that bad, to be honest. I know he's a defender on this, so that may be the reason why, but I think if you look at his heat map, he's been up and down the wings like mad. He's been sort of, and he's occasionally drifted across, maybe because he's not keeping his position well enough, but I thought he was doing a good enough job there. Sabisi on a 6.3. He's been quite quiet this game, to be honest. Hasn't done a lot. 6.2 for Oken. I can't remember a single thing this player's done, He's had 3 apparently clearances and 1 recovery. Won 1 out of 4 aerial duels. 6.7 for Mobakazi. I can't complain about that, to be honest. He has been very decent, actually, going forward. And he's been that sort of key in changing South Africa from a heavily defensive team to a more attacking one. Modiba on a 6.2. Certainly, he had that sort of... He did have a mistake at one point where he was sort of... I think that was maybe a foul or something at one point. But yeah, Modiba hasn't done a lot. There's been a lot of quiet players. That is what I'm noticing here. 6.4 for Moko Owena, who I did not like at all. He was dived and he got a yellow card as well for a reckless challenge. Just not being great. 6.0 for Sithole. He's been a bit sit. So yeah, he's not been great. I can't remember anything he did, so I can't have made any jokes. 6.7 for Jaden Adams. I'm not entirely sure what he's done, to be honest. I can't remember anything he's done, but clearly something has given him the nod for SofaScore. 6.3 for Rainers. He's made some good runs, but unfortunately, that doesn't mean anything. And a 6.0 for Foster, who missed with a header, only shot of the game. It was actually quite a difficult shot to convert, I must say, but he's been quiet, and if they're going to get anything from this game, South Africa need him to be in the game, if you get what I'm trying to say. Oh. Just an ad break before the second half. Can't be that long now. Although, to be fair, we did start late, didn't we? So what would that been? We would have... Yeah, I think we've probably still got another 5 minutes or so, potentially of a half time position. Ridiculous. Yeah, we got an ad break. So a bit of a weird one as well. See, if it was all on BBC, you won't get any of this. I don't know which one is on tonight, actually. South Korea versus the Czech Republic is on ITV. Let's go. Well, as I said, I'm not going to stay up and watching it. If you want to watch on ITV, be my guest. If you have a, what do you call it, a TV license, then go ahead and watch it. But I'm not staying up till 3 a.m. to watch it. I'll watch it tomorrow. So I won't be able to do a live watch along for tomorrow evening's match either. I don't think I'll be back in time. I'm doing something from 5:30 until it normally finishes around about 8. So, and I believe it kicks off at 8. So I'll probably be able to catch the game, but I don't think I'll be able to catch the start of it. I believe, I'm just going to check my calendar of what I'm due to be doing. I believe I'll be able to do a live watch along for Qatar versus Switzerland and Brazil versus Morocco in a few days' time. Apparently, according to this, the USA booed at the World Cup opening ceremony in Mexico. Absolutely ridiculous. That is not great. I'll say that now. Well, I hope you all enjoy me ad break. There's not a lot I can say, to be honest. Other than probably the the goal was a fairly calamitous error, to be honest. So, South Korea versus Czech Republic in Guadalajara, Qatar versus Switzerland in San Francisco. Just seeing some of the games which are coming up. I don't really want to address too much about what America's been doing, to be honest. So, because everyone's got their own opinions about it, I'm someone who has not been in great favour of it, in all honesty. So, it is what it is. I did do a poll about whether I should boycott it or not, and you lot said that I shouldn't. So, ITV have finally squeezed all their adverts that they ever could have done into a tiny minute period. I mean, where are they watching that game from? Is that London? I don't think it is. They seem to be in this place that, like, a studio which is a million miles away from the actual game. What is the purpose of flying them all the way out to Mexico or whatever to watch a game that is like probably watch a TV scheme? I think it is fair to say though, South Africa, they haven't shown a lot in front of goal, and not of the counter attacks anyway, and a bit of a scrappy team, to be honest. If I'm going to be brutally honest in that regard, and Mexico just been the dominant side all round. I mean, apparently, Quinones is actually the top scorer in the Saudi Pro League, more than Ronaldo. So, which you could probably tell looking at today's game. He had a shot which went and scored. He got the only goal so far of this half, and he also hit the woodwork. So, if South Africa get anything from this game, then I will be, surprised, unless Lyle Foster turns it on. But, he's only 1-0. I did say 1-1 at the beginning. Game of two halves and all that, but Mexico could well start with a win if it carries on as the way it is at the moment. Okay, here we are. The two teams have come out for this second half of football. Thankfully, no extra time or penalties as it is the group stage at the moment. So it is all going to be fresh, organic, just pure, unadulterated football. If it ends as a draw, it ends as a draw. Could be worse, I suppose. You could get golden goal rule. South Africa have a nice early claiming of possession here. See if they can do a bit better in this second half. I decided to stop being so kind to them because that is an awful ball Raul Jimenez is definitely about to score here. Okay, the defender has managed to put his body on the line to get that. And then the follow-up has gone absolutely skied over the top by Gutierrez. He's done that a few times, Gutierrez. He's just taken a shot on shite, and I'm not great about it. Raul Jimenez has just tried to round the players and then lay it off, but I think he's probably better to put it on his other foot and go for a shot there. I thought for a moment then, it wasn't actually Raul Jimenez, it was number 8. Thought he was going to do a great job going around the goalkeeper. It looked like an amazing run. South Africa are having a counter-attack right now. Modor tried something and unfortunately didn't manage it. Too weighty of a pass for Mexico, and it'll go all the way through to South Africa's goalkeeper. Starting 11 for your halftime. Rangel for Mexico. Gallardo, Vasquez, Montes and Reyes. Lira, Gutierrez and Fidalgo. And Quinones, Jimenez and Alvarado. So apparently a 4-1-3-2. Or 4-1-2-3, I think. Williams is in goal in a 5-3-2 for South Africa. Madiba, Mabakazi, Sabisi, Ocon, and Modor, with Makoena, Sitol, and Adams, and a front two with Reyners and Foster. So completely unchanged coming into the second half. A long speculative shot from almost the halfway line from Quinones. Flipping it. Was not expecting that. He was rifled that shot, and I mean Williams anticipated it well, but and caught it. But we have seen, was it Marshall with Scotland who got caught napping in a 40-yard shot? I think that was at the Euros, wasn't it? He used to play for Derby, Scott Marshall, back in the day, and I remember he was at Scotland and then didn't cover himself in glory. South Africa are ratting around Mexico and have managed to come away with it as a result of that. It's just playing into Mexico's hands, though, isn't it? Unless South Africa can actually do, and that's again another poor ball, but South Africa are fortunate that they've come away with that and have a chance to attack. Oh, cheeky back heel, which could have ended up absolutely horrifically in that position. I would not have been doing a back heel when there was a counter-attack. Fidalgo has it now. A name I haven't mentioned all game. So maybe this will be the start. Is that not offside, ref? Nothing's been given and bundled over. Has it been given a penalty? Potentially. Straight red card as well. It was the last man. I think Sabis, was it Sitol? I'm trying to find out what has happened there, because Sitol has gone. Your shit, and you know you are your shit. That was outside the penalty area. The foul was committed outside the penalty area, and I think he can be considered unfortunate in that position. There was potentially heaviness, and I think that's just a tangling of feet potentially, and I think he has intended to. Gutierrez has gone flying down. VAR is looking at this, I think. Because they've got to be. It's a huge decision. That is absolutely just outside the penalty area. But well, it's just made the whole of Mexico, South Africa's job rather, a lot more difficult. Having been sent down to 10 men now. Oh, it's cruel. It really is. It sometimes happens like this. They'll be hoping that they can have a better free kick than their first one of this game, that's for sure. But the wall is massive. Basically, every single player is in this wall. I've never seen that before. There's only one player who's not in the wall. And again, it's straight at the wall every time, and the shot is missed well wide there. They need a better free kick taker. That's for sure. Alvarado got it massively wide as well. It's just gone straight into a player again. Raul Jimenez just gone straight into the chest of. Well, somebody put a body online. Was it Lyle Foster even? Might be Lyle Foster. Two players who played in the Premier League this season. Hooked up forward, it's going to be a massive challenge for South Africa to get anything from this now with a man down. Quinones flicking it on. Oh. Guiterres couldn't quite get that. He's growing into this game, Guiterres here. Potentially some substitutes for Mexico could be considered in this incredibly big benches that they get given. It will be a corner kick taken by Mexico. Alvarado whips it in. It's headed away. It's going to be a throw-in. Take it quickly. Or not, and go all the way back to your defence. I think they've gone 4-4. Well, sorry, 4-2-3, essentially. That's ridiculous, if that is the case. I imagine it's a 4-3-2. They probably moved one of their centre-backs further forward. Don't know if they're capable of that. I'm not going to be professed to be an expert on the South African national team. But it could be the case. Whereas I think Mexico, at this point, you just need to throw everyone forward. Sometimes about goal difference in situations like this, as cruel as it seems, because if your other game's against Czech Republic and South Korea, could be a lot of teams may get much more against South Africa than Mexico do here. Throw in for South Africa in line with our own penalty area. Hasn't been a great one. Quinones has passed to Guiterres, has been cut out, and there's a potential chance here. Adams has it. Goes back safe as Muduka has it. And it's certainly slowed down a lot in the pace this game, which I think only really benefits South Africa, because when a man down, you want the pace to be much slower. And it certainly had a galvanising effect for South Africa, and they've had a shot straight at the goalkeeper. I mean, worth having a shot, maybe. So, 1-0, 55 minutes in. South Africa down to 10 men. Going to be a long, long uphill battle if they are to manage to make it. Long walk to freedom, if you will. If you don't get that, read Nelson Mandela's autobiography, and then you will. Is Lyle Foster coming off? Now that is a surprise. Lyle Foster is coming off for Mabatha. I was not expecting that player to come off out of all of them. I don't know why they've taken off their best player in this situation. Well, not being the best player today, of course, but the person you normally expect to be their best player overall. Maybe resting him, or maybe they've just decided to throw this game away at this point, but this is one of the ones that South Africa, if they wanted to get through to the next stage, should have maybe looked at as one of the more winnable ones. South Korea, I think, is going to be a very difficult one in this position. And this is what's happening now. Mexico just surrounding every yellow shirt who has the ball, and gaps are forming, and that'll be a free kick for Mexico. Lira was just pushed to the ground. Pardon me. Literally no need for it at all. So well, if it's as good as the rest of their free kicks, then it's going to be pretty diabolical. Vasquez is in a right physical mismatch with one of the South African players. His physicality, I don't think, is up there. Obviously, South Africa are more well known amongst the world of rugby, with the Springboks. Finally got past the wall, but they can't get it anywhere near the goal. And South Africa are now, they pumped it downfield, but that's going to go out for a throw in for Mexico. Well, I wonder what you lot are thinking back in your own rooms, or maybe you're out there in preparation for the World Cup yourself. Let me know what you're thinking. We had someone from Netherlands in the predictions video early on today saying, hi, if you are from anywhere else in the world, do let me know. We can try and get a global fan base here on the Rams Fan YT YouTube channel. And we're only one subscriber as well from 270. Vasquez has it now, distributing it out wide. Mexico just opting to slow it right down. I don't know if that helps them in any way, to be honest. Vasquez with it again. Touches it inside. Quinones. Great cross. No one could unfortunately got on the end of it, but you know, that's the quality he possesses. I don't think many people probably knew about him before this, but certainly know about him now. It's now with South Africa again. We're looking just to slow it down. Oh, they're speeding up now. They're using the wings quite nicely and cutting in field, but I think that's Mabatha who's just come on, who they're trying to find as the target. And suddenly, an injection of venom and urgency has gone into South Africa, about an hour mark in. So BC with it now. As they're going defensively. pushing onwards. And that's surely a foul. It is. Alvarado, I believe, with a shove in the back. Zwane is coming on here. Who is Wayne coming on for? Well, I'm going to go with Zwane. He's coming on for Adams. I don't know how many people expected Adams to start, to be honest, but here we are. 3 subs remaining for South Africa. It's too far out, and that's going to be a throw into Mexico. Couple of personnel changes then for South Africa so far, none for Mexico. Let's see if they can make it count. All 10 men now. And they're much, I think it's very much 2 attacking switches. So again, another thing which you could potentially point to as an intent to get something from this game. Mexico have it now. South Africa applying a lot of pressure, but they can always use their extra man, Mexico, and that means the pressure has become a lot less helpful necessarily. Rangel kicking it to his central defence partnership. They will just return it to him. Was that Raul Jimenez in space? It was, I believe. And that was a real unorthodox challenge there from Quinones. I think it potentially is a head injury. It was a very high boot. I don't know if it made contact. That didn't appear to make contact for me. It was a high boot. I don't think it made contact. Quinones is adamant it didn't, of course. Chavez is on the bench receiving instructions. I don't know how many Chavezes there are. I think there might be 2. I think this one's Luis Chavez. A long feet. Well, he's warming up. He's not come on yet. South Africa have it in midfield with Midoka. Cross comes in and he hasn't found anyone. He was lurking the door. I must say, he has actually impressed me with his spatial awareness. He just not managed to get that last connection. Right, a goal kick will be taken, not by the goalkeeper, interestingly. It's given to the goalkeeper in a pass. It's odd routine, that. I've never quite got it. Someone will need to let me know. Mexico punt it downfield. Well, at least South Africa got it now. The goalkeeper is acting as a centre-back at this point. Well, you have to double up at least into one position. Maybe that makes sense for the goalkeeper to be acting as both the goalkeeper and the centre-back. They are at times playing with just a flat 3 at the back, South Africa. And leaves themselves exposed like this. But it was well cut out. Was that Madoko again? Potentially was, actually. Madura is a decent player. We're about 65 minutes in here, and it's still 1-0 to Mexico. With South Africa down to 10 men after Sitol got sent off for being the last man barging over. Gutierrez's day is over, as is Fidalgo. They are coming off, and in their replacement is Chavez, I believe Luis Chavez, and Mora. So that's your changes there. A lot of pressure is being applied upon Rangel. And Mexico have come away with it in the midfield. And South Africa, it's become combative actually in this midfield recently in the last couple of minutes or so. But it's going to always be difficult. It's a difficult situation that South Africa find themselves in with 10 men. Lira with an opportunity here. He takes it short. Quinones goes forward again to Raul Jimenez, who receives a 1-2 return. He's switched it out wide. A cross comes in, and it's headed, and it's in, and it's Raul Jimenez, I believe, with the goal. A very jubilant celebration indeed. The second had been coming for quite a while, and they finally done it at Mexico. And, well, you can eat your tacos yourself because, you know, South Africa are well and truly beaten in this one. I don't see them in any way surmounting the 2 goals in the 23 minutes left. Raul Jimenez is crying, showing how much this means to his national team. But it's a wonderful bit of 1-2 touch football, really. What a beautiful cross that was as well to find Raul Jimenez, who directed his header home. It was all very, very beautiful to watch. You see, that's the sort of goal that we love watching. You know, a good team working goal. Everyone having 1 or 2 touches. I think it was Moira, potentially, who was the one with the assists. That is the most mad thing ever. I've just seen a guy in the crowd holding his phone with the screen towards the pitch, with it on video recording himself. Just put it on selfie mode, mate. We're on hydration break, though. And, okay. They're currently in a position where I don't think Mexico throw this away at this point in time. Sitol have gone to a 5.1. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if that's gone even further down by the end of this. Yeah, there's also a Mateo Chavez, so I was right. There was 2. And Luis Chavez is 1. I think it was Gilberto Mora with the assist, but it could well... No, it was Alvarado, actually. He was just celebrating with Moira. But absolutely fantastic goal. That decision, though, for a red card will go down for a while. We get the referee's cam for this, actually. This is quite interesting to see. Oh, no, this is for the goal. Oh, I wanted a referee cam perspective for the foul. I wanted to see what the ref saw for that. Well, there'll be parties in Mexico City tonight, that's for sure. I actually don't know what time it is in Mexico. Should we find out what time it is in Mexico? 2:37. So they would have started at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You know how crazy that nation is about football. I imagine a lot of them probably took a day off. Called in sick. Yeah, they had just a bit too much tequila last night. Or, as I'm drinking, Modelo. A lovely sort of Pilsner lager type thing from Mexico. Throw in for Sabisi. He's been with us quite a while. I feel like I recognise the name. Was he? Surely he's not been available since 2010. That would be quite frankly ridiculous. But I feel like I've recognised the name from somewhere. See, I suspect in the final 20 minutes this game gets quite scrappy now. Because South Africa got basically nothing. Not an iota of a chance to win this game. And it could be quite frankly embarrassing because if South Africa just throw in the towel, it suddenly makes things a lot better. Basically, just stay on your feet. Just let Mexico have the ball, not too much. Damage limitations mode. Quinones passing it out wide. Raul Jimenez. I could see this well becoming another goal, to be honest. It's being given as offside. Oh, well. I'm not surprised about that. I don't think he's offside there. I think he's onside there. He looked like he was being kept on by Sabisi. I think that's a harsh decision. Thing is, you can give offside the other way, but you can't, once it's been given as offside and then incorrectly, you can't overturn that decision. So that is, unfortunately, the way the cookie crumbles. But Mexico will come again. Raul Jimenez again, and has he been blocked off? No penalty instantly, says the referee. Raul Jimenez is holding on to his chest. This is worth having another look. He's gone into the area, and there's another player who's running across here. It's a bit of a coming together. The number 19 there. I've seen a penalty being given for such a thing, but I don't think it has here. So I think South Africa can count their blessings that they've maybe not been awarded a penalty against them in that position. Quinones has just been absolutely crunched by Sabisi. Yeah, and now he's getting a yellow card. I think well deserved considering what happened in the previous imminent moments before then with Sabisi. He seemed to be in the position that he just punched him in the neck. Lucky not to get a red, to be honest. That's ridiculous. That's surely serious violent conduct. See, it's turned real ugly, that. Just choke slammed him. What the flip is going on? I've watched many a non-league game in my time. If you've been around this channel for a while, you'll know that. I must say, there's less violence in non-league games in England than there has been for this South African team. They have been brutish, thuggish behaviour to try and get something in this in the last 10 minutes. Well, even the red card was actually probably one of the lesser bad decisions. But Quinones has got it now. Going through to Raul Jimenez, who will give it a return. But South Africa have come away with it. But that's cheap ball. Heavy challenge, but South Africa come away with it. And that'll be a foul against a South African player. It was Luis Chavez, and what was one of his first moves in the game, to be honest, was to give that foul. And I think he's going to get words spoken to him, potentially. I don't know. Substitution for both teams. By the looks of it, Lira and Raul Jimenez are coming off. Alvarez and Gonzalez are coming on. I wonder how speedy Gonzalez is. You get this stimulating puns when you watch this channel. You really do. So for South Africa, Modiba and Reyners are coming off. That is a very small player who's coming on, by the way. Either that or a very big fourth official. For Apollis and Mac Gopa. I say now, Apollis is a small player. I'm guessing he's a midfielder. "15 minutes left to go. 2-0 to Mexico. It's going to be the longest 15 minutes of South Africa's life. Purely on the basis that it's just damage limitations mode. It really is. And I think to be fair, we'll just be content to keep it around the back. Mexico, a lot of it. The pressure has severely lessened as well. So, yeah, all around, I think this game can probably be considered over and done with. I hope there's not much added time because, you know, it does get a bit long, a bit boring if that is the case. Mexico have the ball in the midfield of the park. Running on is Luis Chavez. Passing it out wide, that's going to be a throw-in for South Africa. Nope, giving me the other way. I was a bit surprised about that one. I thought it came off the chest of a Mexican player. Well, Quinones is coming off as well. I think that's the final substitution for Mexico. As they're bringing on their number 10. You would have thought would have been on already, but Vega, their number 10, is now on. Lifted long out wide. Alvarado cuts it in. Will there be a cross? There is. It's not a great one. Apollis pushing it forward. Is that Makiba? Or Makoke? He's just tried to do too many step overs here. He's gained something from it. I don't even know what he gained from it, to be honest. Absolutely ridiculous decision. That is light. Considering some of the things the referees let go in this game. Gone long, headed on by Mbawa. It's concerning me that the number 5 is so far forward, by the way. Why is the number 5 like in the final third of Mexico's team for South Africa? That just shouldn't be the case. And South Africa have it now in quite a dangerous position, actually. There's a player down, but the referee doesn't care. It's a shot, and it's straight at Rangel. There's no challenging there at all for Apollis. Alvarado is still down. I don't really know what happened. That shot, though, was straight at the goalkeeper. Oh, he's just been absolutely clattered into by Sabisi. absolutely no length that they will go, this South African team, to try and get something. What? There was no purpose in that at all. I don't think the referee saw it, I'll be honest, because it was completely off the ball. But we've now got an amazing drone shot, which they always do this in World Cup, don't they? They always drone shot it and go off into the sky somewhere, or players getting treatment. So, surely Quinones has been player of the match here, man of the match in this game. VAR is being called. That's very interesting. There's a VAR review, everyone. VAR. I think instead of doing that, they should do the VAR. No? Okay. It is looking at a possibility of a red card here. Because isn't this a second yellow offence potentially? And he seems to have punched him at the back of the head. The more you look at it, the worse it seems. He's gone into him and then whacked him. I mean, the player's blocking him off, but it's gone and hooked him like that. It's just, yeah, he's gone and punched him in the face. Yeah, that's red card worthy, surely. There's a VAR decision which is about to be made. The whole stadium is hushed in expectation. Mador is there getting told off by having words with a ref, but I don't think he was the one with a foul, does he? And he's reaching for his pocket. Well, we all know it's going to be red then, isn't it? We all know that. He's going through the crowds. He's taking his time. He certainly is taking his time for a red card. And the red card has been brandished for Zwane, who has not even been on the pitch that long. Well, you don't go around punching players in the face. Let that be a lesson to you. You don't go around punching players in the face. I don't know how he thought that any other outcome would have been a possibility there. We've got VAR now. You know. So that's the second red card for South Africa. So we're now down to 9 men. Flipping it. I can't remember a game I think I've ever seen which has been down to 9 men before. I mean, it obviously has happened before, but just games that I've watched. Now, I don't think the referee's got a decision wrong in that position. So that will be a free kick for Mexico, I think. And number 10, Vega was bowled over. Oh no, it'll be a goal kick. There's been some very interesting decisions in this game. I think Mexico probably be considered a bit unlucky that they haven't had more free kicks. At this point, though, it's absolutely ridiculous for South Africa because all it means is that now I'm not going to have more players to select from their upcoming other games. Control your emotions. You don't do a right hook in football. I mean, they're a bit lucky that one didn't get sent off for a choke slam as well. It was only a yellow. Right, Mexico have it in the final. Well, we've decided to go back. 2-0. It is with 5 minutes of ordinary time left to go. South Africa down to 9 men. I did kind of warn this might happen. I did say that they just needed to remain disciplined, and they absolutely have not. Can only blame themselves. They go with it now. It goes all the way back to Vasquez in the centre-back department, who's currently actually in the South African half. Cutting out wide. Lots of nice patterns of play being played. There's been a lot of changes for this Mexico side now. So they go with it here. They're a bit shy to take a shot, especially without Raul Jimenez on the pitch. Crossed in, this very central, great shot for place for a shot. None of them are taking a shot on, and South Africa managed to crowd it out. That'll be a free kick. It's advantage played because South Africa are coming away with it. And that'll surely be a free kick as Reyes is just bundled over and just shoved down. If I was the referee here, how that wasn't initially given as a red card, by the way, is beyond me. But he needed VAR to see that. It was right in the referee's eye line. Ridiculous. Well, Luis Chavez with it now. In midfield. Goes short. Return to Chavez eventually. There's only a couple of minutes normal time, probably about 5 minutes of added time. We've had a couple of red cards in this one, so Vega passing it out wide. It's a slow, steady build-up. With only 9 men on the pitch now, South Africa have got a bit of a challenge. That's surely another free kick. There's been a bit of a lack of discipline again. And this time, South Africa somehow come away with it. I don't understand some of these decisions the ref is going with. Matt Goper apparently is the one I think who's been penalised, or rather the one who's been fouled against. I can't be certain about that because it's just I was just panning around to all sorts of random players, including the manager, Hugo Bruce. Weird. It's flicked on and out for a goal kick for Mexico. Well, I think the less said about this game, the better, to be honest. It's been nothing short, but some ugly play. Really do expect better in other games upcoming, hopefully. Mexico have just been superior in every aspect here and haven't actually risen to it. Credit's where it's due. They could have easily been riled up by some of the situation that they've had. There's been an altercation in midfield as 2 players, one from each side, have been on the floor. McCarthy and, well, he's gone and crunched in. There. I mean, South Africa just got no discipline. It'll be a free kick for Mexico. 7 minutes of added time. Vasquez going forward. There's plenty of options around. Chavez has it now. Opts for a 1-2. There's just nothing really has happened in this sort of game goal mouth wise for a lot of it. So there's not a lot to report on. They doing a great run there, and the players look like they've been bundled over, been told to get up, and there'll be a counter attack by South Africa here. That's definitely a foul. He's gone absolutely flying. All the players are instantly surrounding the referee here, who's gone for his pocket. Is that going to be, is it last man situation? It's another red card. 3 red cards in a game. Oh my days. Cesar Montes has been sent off. Oh my. I think, was Cesar Montes the captain? It's definitely a bad challenge, but if he's not the last man, it should surely be yellow card worthy. Mado's gone absolutely flying from it. My days, I'm absolutely in awe. I'm in awe. It is being reviewed by the referee, the VAR of it. It won't be overturned because I don't think it's viewed as clear and obvious. Montes is being told to get off the pitch. Wow. This game has got so much action in it. Some tactics being quickly sent by the manager. This is a chance to score a goal. It really is. If it was one step further, this would have been a penalty, by the way. It's just on the edge of the box on the right-hand side. There is no way that I can describe this game to you. Brutal, thuggish, red card heavy. Oh, cheeky back heel, but Mexico fully anticipated it. It's been nicked in the process, though. One of the Mexico players, and South Africa will come forward again. This has got to be one of the most ridiculous games of football I've ever seen. Because none of the decisions I can necessarily hand on heart disagree with. I just never thought I'd see so much lack of discipline and physicality within a football game. Especially not at a World Cup. Well, Apollos has it now. 9 men South Africa are actually putting up a fairly valiant fight. They are now up against 10 men Mexico. It is 2-0 to Mexico. Whew. Wow. Truly breathtaking. Throw in for South Africa. 2 minutes left to play. I don't know how many people are going to be watching this game, but surely it's one of the most ridiculous games that have been around for a while. Flicked on. South Africa got a good chance here. They've kept it in. Madao has it. Hooked in field, but I can't quite get it. And it's cleared by Mexico out for a throw-in. It was Vega who had the last touch. So it'll be a South African throw. And they are more than content to, he's 1 minute left. Just pile it on, just whack it downfield. Lifted high. Pass forward again. Mexico could very much get to this. Vega does. Crossed in. Headed away. South Africa come away with it, even though one of their men is down. It'll be a free kick. The player's in quite some agony at the moment, actually. It was Madao. I'm really not sure why he's gone down so much into that. Frankly ridiculous. There'll probably be another at least minute of added time, considering what has happened. Oh no, they've given it as full time. Well, that is that, ladies and gentlemen. 2-0 to Mexico. It is getting dark outside, as you can tell. But let's go through the overall sofa scores ratings. Mexico on a 7.13, Rangel on a 7.3. I mean, he only had 2 shots to save, to be honest, and they weren't overly difficult to save. So, Gallardo on a 6.9 certainly grew into the game and had to do some important defending towards the end. He also missed both set pieces, I believe. Were they both from set pieces? The first one definitely was, but the second one, sorry, was. It was, yeah, but they were both missed and quite poor. Vasquez on a 6.9, just a bit average, nothing much to write home about, to be honest. 6.9 for Montez. So despite getting a red card, it was for professional foul last man, according to SofaScore, if you say so. But they're now going to be without their captain for the next game. Surely it goes to Raul Jimenez then at the next point. But he was actually solidly defensively when he needed to be. He got sent off. 7.2 for Reyes. Probably the best of a defensive bunch. He was a very typical right back, I suppose. Didn't do a lot of marauding runs forward necessarily. Occasionally he did, occasionally. But I don't think he was too bad in that position. Lear on a 7.3, got the assist. Came off in the 76th minute. Sprayed a lot of passes side to side. 1 key pass, 1 big crunch created, 1 assist. Pretty solid. Man of the match, 8.5, Quinones. You can't deny it. Scored a beautiful goal. Had 2 key passes. Was everywhere. Was just a great goal. Hit the post as well at one point. He's certainly someone to watch out for in the next match, I would suggest. 7.1 Fidalgo. No, I think he had quite a quiet game, to be honest. He came off in the 66th minute for Mora. His dribbling was fantastic. But other than that, not really much to talk about. He had 38 touches and carried the ball 132.7 meters and 14 carries. Only one of them was progressive, though. I don't know what any of that means, but we move on. Gutierrez, had a much improved second half to get to a 7.0, and I do agree with that. His shooting was still horrific, but he actually did get a bit better in midfield. 3 key passes in the end. 1 out of 2 crosses he had was accurate. He definitely improved. He did also come off, though. 8.1 for Alvarado with the assist. A beautiful assist it was as well for Jimenez. His passing was, second to none. 1 big chance created, 2 key passes. 2 out of 4 crosses were accurate. 1 assist. It's what you want from a winger, it really is. And 7.9 for Jimenez. Home there to head it home, and you expect it from the Premier League forward. 4 shots, 1 of them which was a goal. Actually had an XG of 0.82, so he overperformed his XG there. So yeah, I thought he had a decent enough game. Players who came on: Gilberto Mora, 6.5, a bit of a quiet one to be honest. Luis Chavez on a 6.8, picked up the ball when needed. Edson Alvarez, 7.0, that's remarkably high. I wasn't expecting that so much. But I'm really confused about why he's got that. Amado Gonzalez, 6.3. Vega, 6.4. I thought Vega was actually doing all right when he came in. He didn't have much of a chance to impress. His dribbling, maybe was a bit abject, but I thought he was all right. He got the ball in good positions. For South Africa, 6.7 for Williams. Definitely bailed them out a lot of times in this game. He had a grand total of 2 saves. It's not right. That's definitely not right. But yeah, he had 4 saves. Oh no, he had 2 saves apparently. I just thought he had a decent game, to be honest. 6.5 Madao. I also thought Madao had a decent game. He was a very good wing back in that position, tracking back when needed, tracking in field when needed. He was just a bit everywhere. Every opportunity he seemed to pop up with something. 6.0 Sabisi. I think he was a bit lucky as well not to concede a penalty, and then obviously did the choke slam, so was a bit lucky to end up staying on the pitch, to be honest, as well. Only getting a yellow for that one. 6.3 for Ocon. I don't think he did anything, to be honest. I can't remember him doing absolutely anything. So there was 8 defensive contributions, apparently. Okay. 6.5 for Mobakazi. He was absolutely everywhere in the defensive half. So you can't really discredit him there. 8 defensive contributions. He did a job. 5.9 Madiba was, let's face it, a bit absent at times. His defending was a bit questionable as well. He was definitely the weak spot and targeted. 6.5 for Mokoena. He was a bit of a fug in the first half, but I thought in the second half he had actually improved and a lot more better in the pass as well. I think he did have a better second half than the first half. Learned from his errors. Sitol was the first one to be sent off and was a 5.0. Absolutely horror. Stinky performance, as you'd expect from someone called Sitol. But yeah, not great. Jaden Adams on a 6.6. He somehow has got a really good rating, and I have no idea why. He did literally now all game. So someone explain that one to me. Rayner's on a 6.1. Well, he didn't really do what you needed to do. He didn't have a single shot. 5.9 for Lyle Foster. At least he did have a shot. It was missed, but at least he had an attempt. On to the benches, Mabafa on a 6.5. He actually, I don't think he was too bad. He occasionally popped up with something. I mean, didn't have much time to have he had a bit more time to make an impact than maybe. Having had like the best part of the second half of football and not really making an impact, I think that's actually quite a high rating. 5.3 for Zwane with his punch deserved to go down as an absolute horror show. Apollos on a 6.6. I thought it was quite good. did a lot of runs, did vastly improve a team in a lot of regards. So he was a bit more defensive than was needed. Matt Goper, again, a decent enough performance. He was on a 6.8. Didn't do much, to be honest. He only had 23 minutes or so. But yes, these are your two teams. A lot of talking points will be talked about this game, I'm sure. But yes, I'm, been talking for the best part of 2.5 hours. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you're new around here. Going to have lots of World Cup content coming up. I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye for now.